Picture this, a towering wall of molasses, 25 feet high, racing through the streets of Boston at 35 miles per hour. Buildings crumble like paper, people flee in terror, 21 souls perish, and over 150 are injured in what would become known as the Great Molasses Flood of 1919. This is not the plot of some bizarre science fiction film. This is American history at its most surreal and tragic. January 15th, 1919. Boston awakens to an unseasonably warm winter day. The temperature hovers near 40 degrees Fahrenheit, a stark contrast to the bitter cold that had gripped New England for weeks. In the North End, a bustling working-class neighborhood filled with Italian immigrants and Irish families, the day begins like any other. Longshoremen prepare for their shifts at the harbor. Children play in the streets. Office workers hurry to catch streetcars. None suspect that within hours, their world will be transformed into something resembling a nightmare. At the heart of this impending disaster stands a massive steel tank, 50 feet tall and 90 feet in diameter, owned by the Purity Distilling Company. This industrial behemoth contains 2.3 million gallons of crude molasses, recently arrived from the Caribbean aboard the steamship Miliero. The thick, dark syrup serves a purpose beyond sweetening. During the Great War, molasses was a crucial ingredient in manufacturing industrial alcohol for munitions. Though the war has ended, the demand for alcohol remains high as America grapples with the looming specter of prohibition. The tank itself tells a story of corporate negligence that would be shocking even by today's standards. Constructed hastily in 1915, the structure was never properly tested for structural integrity. Workers had noticed the tank leaking from the moment it was filled, oozing molasses that locals would collect in buckets for their own use. Children in the neighborhood knew the sweet spots where they could scrape hardened molasses from the tank's exterior. The company's response to these obvious warning signs? They painted the tank brown to camouflage the leaks. Arthur Gell, the company's treasurer, had received numerous complaints about the tank's condition. Residents reported creaking and groaning sounds emanating from the structure, particularly during temperature changes. The tank would expand and contract, its rivets straining against forces they were never designed to withstand. Yet Purity Distilling Company chose profit over safety, continuing to fill and refill the tank without addressing its fundamental flaws. As the morning of January 15th progresses, the unusually warm weather creates the perfect storm of conditions. The molasses inside the tank, which had been thick and sluggish in the cold, begins to thin and expand as temperatures rise. The steel walls, already weakened by poor construction and continuous stress, face mounting pressure from within. Physics and negligence are about to collide with devastating consequences. At approximately 12:45 in the afternoon, the inevitable occurs. The tank's steel walls can no longer contain the tremendous pressure. With a sound described by witnesses as resembling machine gun fire, the rivets begin popping in rapid succession. The tank splits open like a ripe fruit, releasing its entire contents in a catastrophic burst. What happens next defies imagination. 2.3 million gallons of molasses surge forth in a wave of destruction that transforms Commercial Street into a hellscape. The initial wave reaches heights of 25 feet, moving with the force and speed of a tsunami. The temperature and consistency of the molasses create a perfect storm of destruction, warm enough to flow like water, yet thick enough to trap anything in its path. The wave strikes the Boston Elevated Railway support structure, twisting steel girders like pretzels and derailing a train. The Engine 31 firehouse crumbles under the assault, trapping firefighters inside. Buildings constructed of brick and timber offer no resistance to the relentless brown tide. The Clowerty house, home to a family of 7, disappears entirely beneath the surge. Witnesses describe scenes of absolute chaos. Horses and wagons are swept away, their terrified whinnying lost in the roar